Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. Oh, where's the light? There it is. It's True Zero Emissions here. I have some exciting news to share with you, and I am so excited. So excited. Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Where's my notes? Here's my notes. Okay, I'm so excited, everybody. We're talking about researching, re-engineering, reimagining, rethinking, reconsidering, repurposing, reconstituting, reframing, rethinking. Let's go to a new page here. Okay, everyone, what do you think about this? I have, in my research and study, this idea of the blotch wall, B-L-O-C-H. That's a person's name, okay? Blotch wall. So we have a magnet. This is the magnet. Let's call this a very, very powerful neodymium magnet. But it can be any magnet. It doesn't have to be a neodymium. It can be an electromagnet. It can be a magnet of any strength. But if one side's north and one side's south, this is the blotch wall. This is supposed to be where the energy comes in. And I think what allows the energy to flow through this is what the part where I'm going to have to call it a thought experiment, because I don't actually understand. I mean, even if I make this work, I'm still not going to know for sure this is what's happening, right? But maybe there's ways to prove this. Maybe you can prove it to yourself, right? We're not ever trying to prove to anyone else. We only prove to ourselves through experimentation, right? There's no such thing as proving to somebody else. There's no such thing as that. That's falsity. So anyone asking for proof is asking for fiction, fantasy, right? Because there's no such thing as proving to somebody. Someone can only prove to themselves something, right? That's it. So we can only do for ourselves. No, not something that someone else cannot do for us. Someone cannot prove to us. So that's asking for an impossibility in the nature of the request itself, which does not even qualify as a worthy request, right? A worthy request is something that can be done, right? Which is this. Here, let's do this experiment here. Let's do a thought experiment right now. So this is supposed to be right in the middle. It's not in the middle, it's further toward the south, which would be the case if I put another magnet here. If I put a north-south, where the north is next to the south, it would pull that blotch wall this way, right? So here's the new experiment. I was talking, I'm going to try to make this video very short. My last video, or one of my recent videos, and this is called we'll call this the Don Smith Rotating Separator Coil Research and Experimentation. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. Experimentation. Okay, let me just focus my phone so it doesn't get interrupted. I just switched over to focus because if someone calls or I get a message, it's going to interrupt this video and I don't want to start over. I'm trying to think of the simplest way to flow energy in from the zero-point field, right? This is already a zero, the material universe is a zero-point field container, or a zero-point field amplifier, or a zero-point field condenser, right? It's condensing, that's how I'm thinking of it right now. It's condensing the zero-point field into the material universe, right? So if we want to know how much energy it takes to create matter, E equals mc squared actually tells us that. That's one of the things it does. It says this is how much energy you need to create a material universe, right? E equals mc squared. How much energy does it take to create matter? That's one way I read of that. I read of that equation. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. I love eloquence in thought, in writing, and equations. So, and experimentations also, and communication and collaboration as well. Okay, so my thoughts are, here's just a regular magnet, right? One side's north, one side's south, and it doesn't matter what side is here. It could be north or south. What matters is that we have And this is something I just thought of. I think I just thought of it today. I was thinking, how can I simplify this? Because I was kind of waiting for something to put an electromagnet here on one side and to pulse it, right? And then I thought today, well, what if I put... let's call it a rotor. And that rotor has a neodymium magnet in it. It has 2 neodymium magnets in it. Right, so this rotor rotates here on this shaft, right? With bearings and everything. So this is spinning. And it has a north and a south. I think that's important that it shifts, right? Because that's going to push and pull the blotch wall. So when north comes over here, I think that's going to pull the blotch wall this way, because the magnet just became longer, right? If north and south here, that neutralizes, and it suddenly over here becomes the new south, I guess, on this side, right? And it becomes one magnet, right, for a moment. But if I stop it here, it becomes one magnet longer. So that moves this, that shifts the blotch wall, which I've read, and my research and study indicated this is where the infinite energy flows in from, right here, right, this neutral area, right? But to get it to flow the energy, it has to move, I think. That's just my thoughts. This is a thought experiment. When it's moving, that's when anything near it, any coils near that motion, when this is moving, are going to be capturing that energy. So some of my thoughts are, how thick of a coil can I use, right? Can I use a really thick coil? And would it make a difference if I just have 1 winding or 2 windings deep, right? 2 deep, or 3, right? 3 windings on top of each other. Or if there's 10, if it comes way out here, it's just wound over and over and over and over, and would it keep getting more energy? And what's the limits to that? These are some thoughts I have. This only can be told by the experiment, right? So if someone wants proof, change the channel right now. You're not going to get any proof here. What you're getting is, you're getting my experience of sharing how I'm going to conduct this experiment for myself so that I can see what happens when I do something. This is reality. Reality is we do the experiment, we share the experiment, and other people replicate the experiment if they want to. Okay? And you can just replicate this as a thought experiment if you want to. You don't have to do it in actual 3-dimensional reality or 4-dimensional reality or 10-dimensional reality. But I want to do this as many dimensions as possible in the full dimensions of the scope of existence. So how many dimensions is that? So right here we have, we'll call this right now, we'll call this the north. Now when I put north here and I put south here, I'm talking about this end, the end that's going to come in contact with this. So the north is this side up is the side that's facing the south, okay? So it's going to be attracted to that. It's going to want to stop there. Now when this side comes around, it's going to want to repel, right? And that repulsion is going to push the blotch wall this way. And then the attraction is going to pull the blotch wall this way. So this is all, I think this is what I need. And I'm guessing I'd want to get these as close together without touching. How close can I get these to come to one another without touching each other, right? And to spin this really fast. Now, how fast can I spin it? Can I spin it at 1 RPM? Oh no, 1 RPM, 1 revolutions per minute. No, per second, revolutions per second. I would say 1 turn a second would probably be good for starting, and then up to 60 turns a second, which would be 60 cycles per second, and see what that does, and then see what comes out of this, right? What comes out of the coils. So here, now, since I'm going to be pushing and pulling and using the full range of this, because right, when north is here, the blotch wall is going to come this way, so I'm going to want coils all there. And then when south comes across, it's going to push this way, so I want coils over here too. So I'm thinking I'm going to use coils. Now this is just represents coils, but there's actually going to be a lot of wire here, a lot of wire, right? So it's going to be very, like maybe I'll use hundreds of feet of wire or 100 feet of wire. I don't know, I'll use a lot of wire. And what gauge wire will I use? Well, Don Smith was using what appeared to be like a 10 gauge or 12 gauge wire. But I might just use any wire I have. And I still have to get the magnet, right? Or can I use the magnet that I already have? Can I use my 4-inch? Can I use this magnet? This is a, I think 3 inches by 6 inches by 1 inch deep. So can I use this? But this has north on one side, south on this side. I don't think it's north and south like that. I don't think it is. But I could still put this rotating magnet thing here and spin it next to this and see if I can get anything from it. I can still do that because I don't know what's going to happen. I want to do the unknown. I don't want to just do what I know and what I can imagine. All the greatest inventions came from what we didn't know, what we weren't even looking for. So I have to be open to trying things that don't fit within what I think I want to do, right? Okay, everyone, True Zero Emission signing off. And again, this is probably going to be AC coming out of here. So these would connect into a full wave bridge rectifier, and I have some 250 volt, 50 amp full wave bridge rectifiers that I can use for the testing. And I think my input is going to be there, and then over here it's going to be there, and then these are my output. I'll put plus and minus, and that could be backwards, but because one always has this turned to the side. I don't know if it's a plus or a minus on one that's different, right? These are all this way, and this one's this way on a full wave bridge rectifier. I don't have that memorized. So we have a plus and a minus, and that can then just go to a battery, and it can go to a capacitor, right? You can go to a capacitor and a battery. So just see what's coming out of there, but I'd like to see the voltage there. I might need a capacitor to see that, because I don't know if the pulse is going to pick, if the meter will pick it up. I might need a capacitor to charge to see what's happening there. But this is the idea. Spin this, right? Isn't that fun? So this is Don Smith, rotating separator coil research and experimentation. I'm happy to share this with you. Okay, everyone, until next time, and we'll see if we can get these scooters charging while I'm riding the scooters, right? Can I charge the scooters while I'm riding them as like a trickle charger? Can I put a little power back in there, especially when I'm not running the scooter? If I'm just sitting there, can I have a you know, like a little battery powering this thing? Now remember, there's no lacking of energy, right? It's very important to acknowledge that Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize winner and teacher at Caltech for many years, Caltech in Pasadena, California, and then John Wheeler, a Princeton teacher. These gentlemen were highly intelligent and very, very smart, and they studied their whole lives, and they're masters of energy, just masters. They really understood the universe. And these gentlemen were aware of, through experimentation and through research, aware of the energy in space, right? Which is just the space right here. It's the space that my hand exists within, and it's the space that surrounds my hand, right? It's the space that I breathe. It's the air I breathe, right? The space that occupies the air that we are breathing. That space has enough energy in it to power the entire world without end, because energy replenishes itself. So if you deplete it, it instantly would be replenished by the whole universe. Now, I know everybody puts everything in separate boxes, but our job as researchers is to connect the dots, right? Connect the dots. How does everything relate? And how many different ways can we connect the dots, right? Collaboration. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emission signing off. What can you do with this? I'm looking forward to seeing your videos, your thought experiments, and just call them Don Smith Rotating Separator Coil Research and Experimentation, and I look forward to watching your videos. And if you don't make any videos, just imagine different ways of doing this, because the whole entire universe is interconnected. So just you imagining different ways of doing this, we're all going to get the memo. We all get it instantaneously. It's just the way the universe works. Okay, everyone, True Zero Emission signing off. Have a great day. Bye.